Recently, at an event in Mumbai for the launch of my cookbook, Learn the Art to Eat Smart, we had an interactive session with the invitees. One of the questions went like, what is your take on intermittent fasting? Well, this is not the first time. Probably every Q&A session I conduct, this is one question which does get asked for sure. Intermittent fasting. Is it just a fad? Or is there some scientific evidence to support it? Let's find that out in today's episode. Hi, I'm Avantii Deshpaande, clinical nutritionist, author, speaker, entrepreneur, and a fit mom. Welcome to my podcast, Eat Smart with Avantii, reconnecting you back to the Indian roots. The field of nutrition is constantly emerging with new concepts and new school of thoughts. To name a few, Atkins, keto, paleo, vegan, etc., etc. And not just that, then there'll be also exclusion of foods in the diet, like gluten-free, dairy-free, and so on. And of course, how can you forget the number of meals that we are eating? Eating every 2 hours, and as against that, eating only 2 times in the day. As a student of nutrition science, we have always been taught to believe in evidence-based research. So no matter how many new concepts come up, we would only believe it and of course endorse it after thorough research has been done to support it. So, what is the science behind intermittent fasting? And why do so many people endorse it? And why are the others confused about it? If it should be done in the first place or not? And to give you my take on it as a nutritionist, I have done my research well and will be sharing that with you. So keep listening. You'll be surprised to know certain facts which probably you knew only vaguely earlier. Let's start with the basics first. What does intermittent fasting, also known as time-restricted feeding, exactly mean? Intermittent fasting or time-restricted feeding is an eating plan that switches between fasting and eating on a regular schedule. Many diets focus on what to eat in the diet, but intermittent fasting is all about when you eat. I guess we all started hearing about the term intermittent fasting, say about 5 to 7 years back. We have been following eating 2 to 3 meals in the day and not consuming solid food post 6 p.m. or Suryasta, says my grandfather, who is also an Ayurvedacharya. So does that mean that we are reinventing what our ancestors invented years ago? Ayurveda, a natural system of medicine which originated in India more than 3,000 years ago, definitely has a resemblance to the modern day concept of intermittent fasting. This truly intrigued me. I started digging deep to understand more about this. I came across an article, of course, which I have linked in the description box, and this article talks about Upvas for health and longevity. This article is published as an overview in the Cell Med magazine. The abstract talks about Upvas, which is complete voluntary abstinence from taking any kind of food for a particular time in order to give rest to the digestive system. It's one amongst all the spiritual therapies and one amongst the 10 Langhana, which means these are the therapies done to give lightness to the body. Now, the next question that I'm curious to have an answer for, and I'm sure you would also want to have an answer for this. What are the benefits of following intermittent fasting? According to the science of Ayurveda, fasting increases the digestive fire and causes digestion of the Amadosha. Those are the metabolic toxins. Scientists have found fasting activates autophagy. Yoshinori Osume, a Japanese cell biologist, won a Nobel Prize in Medicine in the year 2016 for his research on how cells recycle and renew their content, a process which is called as autophagy. Autophagy is a natural process that involves breaking down unneeded or damaged components within the cell and reusing them as a building block for cellular repair and for the formation of new cells. Autophagy helps keeps our cell healthy. Dr. Sanchit Panda is a PhD, a leading expert in the field of circadian rhythm research. He's a professor at the Salk Institute of Biological Studies and a founding executive member of the Center of Circadian Biology at the University of California, San Diego. I strongly recommend all of you to read his books, The Circadian Diabetic Code and The Circadian Code, which is written by him. So Dr. Panda beautifully explains what exactly happens to the bodies when we fast for more than 12 to 14 hours. He says, after your last bite of dinner, food is digested for the first 5 hours. After 5 hours, food goes to the intestine and the absorption of the nutrients happens there. During this time, the body is using most of the glucose and stored glycogen for fueling. Slowly, the glycogen stores are utilized and depleted say after 7 to 8 hours. Body slowly begins to burn the little of the fat, and when the fasting aligns with your sleep, another magic happens. Gut lining and many parts of the body that are damaged are repaired. After 9 to 10 hours, when we are asleep, pituitary gland produces the hormones which travels to many parts of the body and the gut lining and trigger the repair process. Referring to the aforementioned article, which was discussing about autophagy, this is the exact thing that happens. After 12 to 14 hours, our body uses enough fatty acids or stored fat to produce little bit of ketone. This ketone fuels the body, and recent research has indicated that the ketone bodies reduce inflammation. Since they act as a fuel for the immune cells and also signaling molecules instruct the cells to turn on anti-inflammatory program. Okay, now that we know the benefits of intermittent fasting, the next question is, why 16 hours of fasting? Dr. Sanchit Panda's lab work on mice indicates benefits of fasting for about 10 to 12 hours window. I tried to look up through the literature to find any research that specifies on 16 hours of fasting window, but could not have any conclusive evidence. I would like to know from you people if there is any literature that you've come across why 16 hours of fasting window is recommended. In the meanwhile, based on the changes that happen in our bodies during the fasting time, just to put up a hypothesis, 14 hours fasting window causes the fat to be utilized as a fuel, releasing the ketone bodies. A 2 hours further fasting window will ensure that more fat burning occurs. This could be a beneficial thing if you're looking at weight loss. But this is just my hypothesis and would love to hear more from you if there is any literature that is available. Now finally, one question which I would like to address. How do you decide the best time of the day for the feeding window, which could be anything between 8 to 12 hours, right after the intermittent fasting break is over? There is one concept which Dr. Sanchit Panda emphasizes on is the body's circadian rhythm and its connection to intermittent fasting. Wait, let me simplify that for you. A circadian rhythm is a 24-hour biological clock that affects your sleep, digestion, and metabolism. It determines the digestive rhythms, fat burning, fat storage, sleep patterns, and much more. The biological rhythm is run by clock genes that signal when each process in the body should take place. Okay, let me simplify this for you. If you're used to sleeping at 10 p.m. every night, your body starts working on this way ahead in time, say around 6 p.m. in the evening, by slowly rising the levels of melatonin, which is a sleep hormone. Your body temperature slowly drops and there will be several changes which occur. These changes ensure that you get to sleep at 10 p.m. every night. Furthermore, if the pattern is right and you sleep at 10 p.m., you would be in deep sleep at 2 a.m. owing to the different changes that occur in the body, like reduction in the cortisol levels, and the heart rate also slows down. Towards the early hours of the morning, see around 4 a.m., your body starts preparing you to wake up, increasing the body temperature, reduction in the melatonin synthesis, and increase in the blood pressure and the cortisol hormone for ensuring that you have mental alertness. Finally, when you wake up, the cortisol levels are at the highest to ensure that you kickstart for your alertness. Now, as the day progresses, if you're more or less having the same eating pattern every day, the gut and the hormone and the enzyme systems in the body are getting alert to ensure that you're ready to digest the food that you're consuming. And as the day concludes, the same cycle repeats itself. Any disruption in the time of sleep, time of meals, or even not sleeping well at night is going to disrupt the circadian rhythm. This might not make a difference once in a while, but if it continues over a period of time, scientific evidence now indicates that circadian rhythm disruption are associated with serious but preventable chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, heart diseases, obesity, stroke, and even cancers. So it's best to keep the eating window during the times when our bodies are highly alert. This is 1 hour after you wake up till about 2 to 3 hours before you go to sleep. One mistake which people commonly make is that they do not use the eating window to nourish their bodies, but often restrict calories in the pursuit of getting lean faster. But this is how your body will not heal or repair. So, in the next episode is a continuation of this one, Demystifying Intermittent Fasting. In that episode, I would discuss how you use the feeding window to nourish, heal the gut, ensure a better sleep, and biohack the circadian rhythm. So stay tuned. Do write in to us in the comments section about which is the nutrition hack you wish to know. If you like the content, please show me lots of love by subscribing to the podcast Eat Smart with Avantii and sharing it with as many people as possible. So let's meet next week. Have a beautiful week ahead.